And I don't hear anything so far. And here we go.
There
Let's
is.
see. I was a little soft yesterday, so I turned it up a little bit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA. And we're going to be talking about male engagement today. Also, we've got some breaking news. But first, a little bit of fun. So let's get over to the fun and see what that's going to be about. Let's see. Get it back here. I'm learning, but it doesn't work so well. There we go. Peroni Capri Sandy Cove, their new lager.
Aspetto sempre la domenica.
And here comes a golf ball. Because they're lounging in a sand trap, not on the beach. Nice out. The taste that takes you there. The new bright and crisp lager. Okay, so that's going to be, well, let's get the story now from Amy Houston over here. And here's the story. She says, the Peroni's first brand extension in 60 years. I'm not sure, of course, what Peroni, what they did besides this. I just don't know. But they worked with the independent agency Troublemaker and Camila Zappiola, director at Stink Films, who said it was a dream come true to shoot this stuff. They have 4 commercials on here. I took what I thought was the funniest one. And shot it in Argentina, lots of amazing cast. We had a lot of fun doing it. And so they're going to run it in, I think the UK, and it's said in here someplace. They're going to run it overseas. But anyway, let's go on. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Japs-Olson sells Twin Cities printing plant to the New York firm Angelo Gordon for $71 million. And I was stunned because that's, as far as I know, that's their main printing facility. And Japs-Olson has been one of our first and best supporters of the WDMA. And I think anyone who sells direct mail printing should be a supporter. And so if you're not supporting this, if your company's not supporting this, where I fight for mail every day and I explain the benefits of mail every day, or the disadvantages of digital or something like that. Anyway, this is their main plant. And so I was a little stunned. But then the article goes on to say Japs-Olson will remain in the facility for the next 20 years through a lease with the new owner, New York-based Angelo Gordon. I don't know what happens after 20 years, but Mary England texted me this morning and said, did you hear the news about Japs-Olson? I said, I did, but I think, at first I was stunned thinking that they might have, just sold out to another printer or to a venture company that's putting together printing companies, because she said there seems to be a trend in printing companies getting bought and globbed together. I think that's true. In fact, Steve up in Canada, it'll come to me. He's working on that in Canada and in the U.S. The group that acquired his company is working on putting together more companies. And so I said, yeah, I don't think that's what's going on. I think what's going on is that Japs wanted to take this asset that's worth $71 million and turn it into cash because they have some other expansion that they want to do. And, they're sitting on this very, very valuable asset that they can't really leverage or do much with. Of course, they could get a loan, but this way they don't have to get a loan. And Angelo Gordon, on the other hand, maybe they got a pile of cash and they don't know what to do with it. So this turns their cash into a balance sheet asset. Not that cash isn't, but that actually generates return on investment. So it turns their pile of cash into a recurring revenue stream plus an asset on their balance sheet. And so there's reasons for both of them to do it, but it's mostly a financial play. Japs-Olson will keep printing. No worries. And shout out to to Debbie Roth. And I was, with this kind of breaking news, and I could only find it in the Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal. That was the only place this article ran. So you're hearing it here probably first. I can't believe Printing Impressions didn't have it. But I'll call up Debbie and make sure I get the details right and make sure that made any sense. I'm purely speculating on the reasons why they might be doing it. That's my own pure speculation. The bottom line is they're not going to move out. They're not going to stop printing. And but I wanted to make it a little more dramatic, as I like to do. Okay, this is actually a better article than I was expecting from Print Week. And it's hard to read. I couldn't get it to print any bigger. This chart disappears if I make it print any bigger. But the black line is engagement. And the article goes into great detail about the number of days and the number of touches that a direct mail piece gets after it arrives at the house. And it's almost 5 or 6 touches. I think it's an average of about 6. Some of them get about 8. And it also says that 75% of the mail, people say, 75% does not get immediately thrown in the trash, that it gets set aside to look at later and multiple times. So, people think that mail is expensive. Nothing could be further from the truth. The truth is that a Google pay-per-click is maybe, I'm going to turn the mic down a little bit. It seems like it's getting overhit here. Pay-per-click, so if it's $2 per click, right? Never mind that you might be driving those clicks by mail already, so it means you're paying double. But let's say it's $2. And some of them are way higher, some of them are lower. But Google says the bounce rate is 50%, which means people come to your site, they don't even click another link, which means they're not engaged, they're not there at all. And many times they only stay seconds if you track this stuff. So you're paying $2 for that. You're really paying $4 for that, for any engagement whatsoever. So now you've paid $4, and after that, the response rate is about comparable, from what I can tell of my e-commerce marketers, to a mail response rate. It's a couple of percent, give or take. So you're paying essentially $4 per piece in digital when you can you can accomplish the same thing for $1 in mail. It just looks expensive, because it doesn't string in every day. Look at your overall budget, right? And now we're going to get to the most important part, right? Which is 3D mail, 3D marketing, okay? And this was in the UK, and it's a great study, and you want to go over to wdma.org and get the show notes. Every day I post these articles, and you can dig deeper and find out more, and that keeps me from talking forever. Okay, how 3D marketing blows past the gatekeeper and skepticism to supercharge your results. 18% response rate for this campaign, for a particular campaign that Craig Huey is talking about. And we're going to have Craig Huey on here one of these days. We've already been figuring it out, getting the time and all that. Okay, if your target audience is business to business, or if it's high ticket item, so Lovesac, after they drove traffic to the website with mail and with TV, using the offers that we found were the most effective by testing mail, once they did that, if a person engaged, they would retarget them once, I think, with a postcard, but then they would retarget them if they visited the store or something. They would retarget them with a wooden box that opened up, and it had magnets in it that were the sizes. It had a room grid laid out, and it had little magnets that were the size of the sectional pieces of furniture. And apparently they got some of this idea from the from the bed. What's the name of that bed? That you can make firmer or less and tip it all over the place and all that. I don't remember, but it's a magic bed, and they were doing 3D mail also on follow-up, and apparently that was very successful. This was just we helped them develop this customer journey sort of marketing. They came up with that one. I had nothing to do with it. I thought it was a little more expensive than I would spend on this, but the Sactional is a fairly expensive, high ticket average order. And so they found it to be very, very effective. And but the point is, it was, like a beautiful wooden box that you could assemble and fit your furniture into your living room or wherever you want to put it. And so it doesn't have to be just business to business. Of course it doesn't, right? So there's a direct mail format that breezes through obstacles to land squarely on your prospect's desk and generate responses of at least 3% or even higher. We've gotten up to 92%. It's called three-dimensional 3D mail, and usually they use a FedEx or UPS delivery so that it has a higher perceived value. Of course, it has a higher cost. But again, it just depends on what you're selling, right? And so they were working with a software company, iProTech, and again, this will be in the show notes. You can go get this article. And it's a company that creates software for top corporate attorneys, and they wanted to drive traffic to their booth at an industry conference. Okay, and so they sent out a package which was a money maze. I don't know what that is, with a dollar bill trapped inside. And if you solved the maze, you got the dollar. But if you couldn't solve the maze, you could bring it to the booth and get the solution and get the dollar. And they had an 18% response rate. The IPO team came to a profitable conclusion. The sale of just one software program would more than quadruple the campaign's ROI. They revealed much more. So, I mean, we don't know how many pieces they did. We don't know a lot of things. One other advantage of 3D mail, or sending 3D items out. This is something I got from the Uline rep. Let's see a little Uline thing. One advantage is that you might have coffee mugs, and you can get a short run, and it doesn't cost you. If you want to do 200 of anything almost in imprinted merchandise, it's not that hard to do. And so you can do a very, very short run. You can print the letters on your laser printer. You can get little boxes from Uline, right? And so, though your cost per piece is high, it's not as scalable or whatever. It doesn't change much if you mail 10,000 pieces, which get to be logistically difficult, or you mail 10 pieces, right? You might be able to do that very, very easily. And I mailed out a piece. Let's see if I got it here. Yeah. I mailed out a piece as a follow-up. There it is. Makes noise in a funny box. I didn't do it UPS, and it has a puzzle inside. It says "We solve puzzles," essentially, and it rattles. And so you can assemble a couple a day, send them out, hand addressed. I did that myself, I think, or somebody with very nice handwriting did it. And so you get. It's a very, very, very powerful thing that you can't do in digital. You just can't. You can't do 3D in digital. So 3D marketing is a mail device, and if you have a high ticket item, you really want to try it. And there's simple ones like I get pens in the mail all the time. I even save them. That's kind of funny. I save them because I think they're cool. I get Miglosh marketing pens. And they're in a sort of a bubble pack where the pen fits in there. I don't it's a beautiful pack because it can go in the mail and they can mass produce it, and they basically are imprinting the pen and putting it in the envelope addressed to me. So it's a wonderful device. But anyway, there's just a wide variety. Give me a call if you'd like some help with this. I've gotten a few calls on this particular topic. How do we do 3D mail with our best customers? Because you can't spend enough on your best customers. Get their attention, get their help. It's the best way to build loyalty. Have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart. Bye-bye.